to leave here with something new, a new understanding, a new knowledge about solar, right? And that's why we have, curated this webinar. Yes, just to give you some, just to enlighten you more about what solar energy is all about. But most importantly, the topic, solar is a scam. Do you believe that solar is a scam? Please feel free in the course of the session to drop your comments in the comment box. Our staff are also on the call, and they'll be happy to respond to your questions or your queries as we go along. Okay, so I'll just go on with the presentation. Please, if you have any questions, type them in the chat box, and we'll take them right after. The plan is to have this go on for not more than an hour at the most, right? And hopefully we expect others to join us as we go along. Right, so thank you very much everyone again for joining, and the next thing you'll be seeing now is my slides, but I'll still be speaking at the background. Thank you. Please, if you're unable to hear me at any point, kindly drop a message on the chat box as well, so that I can just know that I'm being followed. Okay, everyone. So solar is a scam. Solar is a scam. How do you believe that, right? Before, so, and there are a lot of myths about, what they call myths are like things that, have existed for a very long time and people believe them to be true, but they are not necessarily true. So myths about solar energy you never knew were false, and common mistakes you should never make. So that's the topic for today. And again, we are Solfa Power Limited, and we're a company established to provide clean energy solutions to our clients. And we do that through a lot of, a couple of products, as we talk about that later on. Well, let's go into the meat of today's presentation, and I'll start by introducing myself. So my name is Chinenye Ajayi, and I'm an energy professional and the co-founder of Solfa Power Limited. A wife and mom of 3 kids. Well, I'm giving this background because I'm going to be telling you all the story that led to where I am today, and that also informed kind of dovetail into our presentation for today. So that's me, and it's my pleasure meeting you all. So my journey, how did it all start? Sometimes it's good to lay background to let you know that some of the experiences, most people feel out there, we felt them, I have felt them. So personally, I'm usually uncomfortable whenever it comes to power outages. It just gets me very uneasy. It gets me very restless and very unproductive. And a very particular time was when I was having my baby. And, once generator is off or the power is off, that's the end of sleep for the night. And that even got worse because we're staying at a place where the electricity supply was not so good. And the truth is, no matter how much you have a generator, you never can tell the day, there'll be so much queue in the filling station and you wouldn't have enough, you won't have the time to go queue to buy fuel, or there may be fuel scarcity, you wouldn't even find it at all, or you might just run out of fuel without even knowing it. So for those nights where I run out of fuel or I'm unable to buy fuel, that means that was sleepless night for me, and of course that was a problem. And to make that worse, if you're a working class mom like me, typically now we will cook food and put it in the freezer, so you can save time. But I always had these anxiety pangs whenever the light is off for like a day, when the grid is down, they tell you grid is down and there's total blackout all over the nation. I'm always having anxiety pangs because I felt like, oh, all the money I've spent in cooking this food and putting it in the freezer is going to go bad. And to be honest, I've had scenarios where food has actually gone bad because of power outages. So it began to give me a lot of concern. And that was the background that led into the desire to solve this problem. Because like I tell you, and this is just applicable to every aspect of life, any problem that disturbs you very, very, that disturbs you in a very special and particular way, I believe that you have a role to play in solving that problem one way or the other. So sometime in 2022, or rather 2020 years, I began to have this innate desire to do more and to add value. After praying about it and just thinking about it, I felt I zeroed in on electricity first because it gave me a lot of concern. Secondly, it was affecting my productivity, and I wanted to have 247 electricity. I wanted a situation where I could have light 247. I don't have to bother about light going off and on. But most importantly, it wasn't just about myself. I wanted to be able to solve problems, help people, solve this electricity problem, not just for myself, but for those who are actually, those who are actually facing the same problem, to help them live a lot more convenient life, much more productive life. Because trust me, electricity is essential to your productivity. You know that when you don't have adequate electricity, first is that you can't even work, particularly for those who work at home, right? Your phones are down, your gadgets are down, you're virtually unproductive. So the goal, my passion was to first get people to have access to 247 electricity, not just ordinary electricity, but electricity that is clean, that is healthy for you, that protects our environment, as we'll see, and the one that is affordable, and the one that is within your control. Okay. And so, boom, that's how I found renewable energy. And ever since I discovered solar, and it has been a life-changing experience for me. And again, like I said, I've heard a lot about solar. And one of these solar is a scam. So we're about to find out, is it true or is it false? So let's go right on. So what is a myth? Like I tried to explain to us what a myth is. A myth is a belief that has lasted over a period of time that, a lot of people believe without necessarily being true. And in the course of my study of the sector and research and carrying out market survey, I observed that there have been a lot of myths. I've enjoyed a lot of people from enjoying solar. Once just tell people, so okay, yeah, I've heard about it. Is it true? Can it really power? I remember meeting someone. The person said, "Can it power my freezer?" I told the person, you're like, no. Can it power my AC? The person said, the person just believes like solar is, how can you say sun can power, can power my freezer, can power my air conditioner? And the truth is that it can. It very well can, right? It's just that, of course, we are already used to the conventional sources of electricity, right? Like like your generator, like your fuel, like your normal, grid power, or some people call it NEPA light. So that is why. But for today, there are a lot of myths actually. But for today, we're just going to be debunking three major myths about solar that I'm sure you've always heard. But today I'm going to explain to you that it's all a myth, meaning that it's not exactly true, and also explain to you the reality, right? I hope you're ready to ride along, yeah? So let's get right into it. So myth number one. The myth number one in Red Bull, they said it is not possible to have 247 electricity power supply with solar energy, especially in Nigeria, where we are known for energy poverty. True or false? So I've had people say, no, it's not possible to have 247 electricity with solar. The truth is that you can actually decide to go off NEPA completely, like completely, without and relying on solar energy completely without bothering about generator. The truth is you can actually do that, right? And I've had, in fact, last week I met a colleague at work, and what he told me was like, see, Chinenye, electricity is becoming very expensive. Right now, I want to go solar 247. Now, he already has solar system in his house, but he was alternating it with the grid supply. But this time around, he was like, I'm tired of paying NEPA bills, particularly those in band A. You know what that means right now, right? So he said, I want to go into electricity 247 completely. So it's actually possible. So it is false when you hear that you can't have 247 electricity with solar energy. So you can actually have all the electricity tailored to meet your unique needs. So let me just explain to you how this works for those that don't understand how solar energy works. So first is, don't forget, drop your questions in the comment box as we go along, okay? So first, solar energy is the sunlight that you see, the sunlight that you use to keep things warm, dry your clothes. That sun that helps plants grow, that sun is capable of a lot of things. Thank God for nature. God actually knew that we'll come to a time like this where we need sun to generate electricity. So the way it works is, I'm sure we all know solar panels. So when you have solar panels on your roof, the light and the heat that is generated, the light and the heat that is generated from the sun is used to convert the light and the heat that generated from the sun is converted into electricity. And with the technology of your inverter, you're able to convert into the kind of electricity that you can use in your home to power your freezer, to power your fridge, you power your phone, you charge your phone and your laptop, and virtually any other thing you can do with normal electricity. An interesting thing is about this is that the electricity that the sun generates is not different from the electricity that you can get from your generator. Electricity is electricity. The source may be different, but electricity is the same. So again, the one good thing about the solar electricity, again, of course, we know that sun is not available all the time of the day. So there's also a system, which is what we call battery backups, that enables you to save excess electricity in your battery so that when the sun is down, you can then actually, so let me tell you how this works. So, for you to be able to use electricity 24/7 to power everything in your house, it just means that you need to have the solar system, the size of a solar system that can power everything in your house. And it works just the same way as a generator. Like a generator, for instance, you cannot expect I pass my neighbor generator to power everything in your house. For you to have a generator that power everything in your house, you have to buy the really large ones, really large ones, like your Lister, like the big Meccano kind of generator that can power everything. So, and that's how it works. So solar can actually power every single thing in your house. So the next time you hear that, may tell anyone, solar can power everything in your house, just depend on the size. So it means the more things you want to power, the bigger the capacity you need to get. So I hope that myth has now been debunked, right? So we move to the second myth. The second myth here is that solar is expensive. And this is like the most common I've heard anywhere and everywhere. No, it's too expensive. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. But I'm here to announce to you, it is false, like really false. And this is what we are going to do. On the screen right now, you can see that I've tried to do some kind of comparison just to help you see how cheap, really cheap, that solar energy can be, particularly over the long run. Because, we are very aware that, inflation is on the high every day. And what we are very conversant, particularly in Nigeria, what you bought, the price you bought a thing in January is about almost 100% the price today. So let's do a little bit of analysis. So we're going to take an analysis of a 1,500 kilowatts solar system and a 1,500 kilowatt or kVA, 1.5 kVA of generator. So on the first screen, I'm trying to see if I can move my cursor, if you can see it. Yes. So on the first screen, you can see 1,500 in terms of the load capacity. So on this side, you see type of energy solar, and the second part, you can see, you can see the generator. I'm trying to see how I can make this smaller. So 1,500 kilowatts of energy is the load size. And imagine you get a generator of the same size. Now the capacity is, of course, it can power a 1.5 kilowatts solar system, can power your LED bulbs. It can take a standing rechargeable fan, a small 32-inch TV, a tabletop fridge, and your laptop or your phone. Now, the one-time setup cost to set up all of this is about 2,345,750 naira. I know if you see this, like, oh, it's a lot. How can I just buy this? But let's take equivalent. Imagine if you're going to buy a 1.5 kVA generator today, it's about 400,000 naira. You might, okay, now when you compare the initial cost of buying it initially, the prices are drastically different, and I totally understand. But let's look at something else. Operating cost, which is something that we know sometimes we do not take into consideration. For instance, assuming this 1.5 kilowatt solar system, there are different batteries. You can use lithium-ion battery, you can use tubular battery. So let's assume we are using a tubular battery where you need to fill your, you need to refill your distilled water maybe once in 6 months, thereabout. The total cost in 3 years for you to fill your distilled water, approximately 300,000 naira. But let's look at the generator. I'm trying to move this up. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, but so what I'm trying to, what you will notice for fuel is that for you to use a fuel for at least 6 hours, as you can see on the timeline, on the time aspect of 6 hours of generator, you need, say, at least, say, 10 liters of 5 to 10 liters of fuel. And if you multiply let's assume 10 liters of fuel by 600 naira, which is the price of fuel, that's already 6,000 naira on a daily basis, right? And if you're multiplying 6,000, if you're going to multiply 6,000 naira in 7 days, what does that give you? You know, I'm trying to do the calculation so that we can actually be sure. 6,000 naira times 7, that gives you about 42,000 naira every week. And if you're going to do that times 4 in a month, that gives you about 168,000 naira every month that you spend on fuel. And let's take it a little more for that. 168,000 times 12 months, that gives you about 2,160,000 naira in 1 year just for fuel. Don't forget, I haven't included the cost of servicing your generator, changing the oil. We all know how much engine oil costs today. So by the time you add that together, plus your initial cost, and then, you know, that is for 1 year. And if you take that same calculation for 3 years, so let's assume 2,160,000 times 3 years, that's you're spending close to about 6 million, 980,000 thereabouts, just on your generator. And that's on the assumption that fuel price remains 600 naira. And of course, we know the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. So there's a likelihood that price will increase. And it's just to tell you that a real fact, solar is not expensive. So by the time you compare 6,980,000, that's excluding cost of engine oil. You can see that it is really expensive compared to the initial cost of 2,245,000 that you have spent initially. And don't forget, this cost is the same for a period of 3 years. At least you should be able to use your batteries for 3 years before you can consider changing it. Right? So it means your cost is fixed. Once you spend that one-time cost, it is fixed. You don't have to spend, you know, any any capital expenditure for the period of 3 years. That's super amazing. And that just, you know, debunks the myth that solar is expensive. You can see that solar is actually cheap. So for those of you that on the call, you know, you're a potential customer, or you are even an agent of Solfa Power, you know, your market, these are the ways you can let your clients know, your people know that solar is not expensive. Solar is not expensive by the time you consider, you know, all other factors. And even this, can we even talk about the noise? Think about the inconvenience that comes with the noise your generator makes. It's a no-brainer. But having a solar system, you know, is super, you know, sometimes you can be in a house where a solar system, you don't even know when there's power outage, because you can automatically switch from the normal grid power to your solar system. So I hope the second myth has been debunked. So myth number 2 done. And I'm sure I've been able to, you know, those days when we debate in primary school, I'll be able to convince you and not confuse you. That's how we said, right? That solar power is not expensive. So that said, we move to myth number 3. Okay, I've had people say solar power is complicated, is unreliable, is difficult to use. True or false? Trust me, the answer is false, like false raised to power 10. It's false, maybe more, right? So the thing about solar systems is, just like every other appliance, every other appliance, there is a way they are being operated. There is a way they are being used. You just need to know how. And you should watch out for subsequent webinars from Solfa Power, because one of the things we'll be doing is to educate you on how to use your systems, so that it's not, because using a solar system is not rocket science. It's not. You can actually know how to use, the way you know how to, you know, by the time you buy a phone for the first time, you know, particularly if you're using, let's assume you are used to using an Android phone and they probably switch to an iPhone. The operating system is different. Of course, so you need to get used to it over a period of time. And again, let me give another instance, like the lady you see on my slide, riding a bicycle. Whoever rode a bicycle, if the first time you rode a bicycle, it felt like, you know, it's difficult. I'm going to, you know, sleep and fall and break my legs and all of that. But the moment you learn it, it becomes easy. You know, you begin to ride it easy, like the lady, you know, enjoying herself on the screen. So just the same way, there are certain guidelines on how to use a solar system. The same thing with your diesel generator. If you don't use your diesel generator properly, let's assume you turn on your generator, you didn't turn on the fuel tank, or you didn't turn on the oil, it will go off. Or let's even assume you buy, you have I pass my neighbor generator in your house, and then you went to switch on your AC. Of course, your generator will go off and it will get bad. And that's how it is with the solar system. So the solar system is not a perfect system that, I can use anyhow and anyway, and everything just keeps going. And it's particularly dangerous because, for solar systems, unlike a generator, when you overload it, it begins to scream out loud, and begins to like make a lot of noise. Excuse me. But a solar system might not make that kind of noise. The moment you're using it the wrong way, the system will begin to damage gradually. And then before you know it's happening, it is totally bad. So essentially, the myth here is that solar power is not complicated. It's very easy to use. And I'll show you a few questions that people typically ask. It's very easy to use. It's very reliable. Again, reliable, is very important because people, you need to understand how it works. Again, you know that solar systems work with sun. So it means that on a day that is a rainy day, for instance, you don't have to switch on all the power in your house. Why? Because the energy level is low that day. So on that day, you need to, the thing that should come to your mind, you need to turn off some light, turn off some things you are not using so that you can manage your electricity that is available at the time. So with that, you can find that your solar system is reliable. You are able to power only the things that you urgently need at that time. Okay, so it's also not difficult to use. You can actually trace, sometimes you can check at what level my battery is. Okay, my battery is at 80%, just like your phone. When your phone is at 80%, you can do a lot with it. But once it getting to 20%, it goes off into battery saving mode. You turn off some application just to save your energy. That is exactly how solar system works. So you need to know, once I'm checking my battery level and my battery level is low, I need to turn off some things. That's it. So solar energy is very, very easy to use. So we can talk about this in much more detail in subsequent webinar from Solfa Power, but that is it about the myth. Myth number 3 is that solar power is not complicated, solar power is very reliable, and solar power is not difficult to use. Again, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment box. Okay, there are a couple of other things that you have to do to maintain your solar system. We can probably talk about that in subsequent webinars, but the purpose of this webinar is just to debunk that myth in your mind that it is unreliable. It is very reliable. You just need to know how to use it. And that's one of the things we do at Solfa Power. One of the things we do is that we don't just sell you a solar system. We teach you how to use it. We follow up with you to let you know how to use it. So that said, myth number 3, all broken. So what I want to do this morning now is to share with you something I've been working on, or rather we've been working on at Solfa Power Limited. And having access, so one of the things we're trying to do is we're trying to work on a project to help people get more electricity supply in a way that is affordable, simple to use, to help you live a much more convenient life, make you more productive, eliminate the stress, protect your health. So would you be interested in learning more about this? Yeah, I'm sure you are. So let's get into what we have for you. So, but before we get into the solution, just before then, how much would it cost you? I know we've talked about a bigger system, but how much would it cost you if you're going to power the listed load, power 1 fan, 4 bulbs, 1 TV, a laptop with your generator? Let's assume all of this may be around 1,000 kilowatt or 1 kVA generator, this very small portable generator. How much would it cost you? The size of a 1 kVA generator now from research is about 3,000 naira. 300,000. Okay, so 300,000, that's the price. And the cost of fuel, let's assume you want to buy 5 liters, very conservative. You know how long 5 liters will last you these days? It might maybe like 3-4 hours at the maximum. But let's even assume all you want to buy a day is 5 liters. And 5 liters times 600 naira, which is the price of fuel as at today, is 3,000. It means that in a week you spend 21,000 naira. In a month, you spend 90,000 naira. And in a year, you are spending 1,080,000 naira for a year. And by the time you add that to the cost of buying your generator, which is 300K, you are spending about 1,380,000. Minus engine oil, minus the noise, minus the day you want to start your generator and the rope cuts off. Oh my God, I've experienced that badly. You know what you want to start, you just pull it up, bam, and then the rope is off, and then that's all for the day. I don't know if you've experienced that, but trust me, I have. And so, but assuming the price of oil stays steady for the next 2 years, you mean to be spending about 2,116,000 thousand naira. But here I present to you something you can't resist. Like, this is a very, very innovative offer that Solfa Power is actually providing. We can give you exact system, a 1 kVA system, right, that can power exactly the same thing. Is if a standing fan, is rechargeable standing fan, your laptop, your phone, it can take about 4, 5, it can come 4 bulbs, right, to power your house. If you are living in a very small apartment or your small shop or your business, you can, connect it around your house. Your laptop is always, or you can be sure that your battery is on. And our solar systems are the type that you can charge with both the sun. I can also charge it with electricity, and you have good battery backup. So this system will only cost you 995,000 naira. Trust me. So remember, we've talked about the entire package of almost 2 million naira, or rather almost 2 million naira in 1 year. And I'm giving you something of 995,000 naira that would last you for 3 years without adding anything to it. Okay, so the first, you don't have to buy for, you don't have to go queue up. That time alone you spend in queuing up in the fuel station is something that you can use for something more productive, right? You don't have to buy engine oil. And then you have at least, you can last more than 3 years, right? But you have at least 3 years to use the system. Now, so imagine, see the 3 years of generator. Let's look at the screen. 3 years is 3,540,000 for a generator for 3 years. 3 years, 995,000 naira. Trust me, let's calculate the difference. The difference is about what you are saving by getting a solar system is about 2,545,000 naira in 3 years. It means per year you are saving 848,000 naira. So let's assume you invest this 848,000 naira in a business. How much profit would you make? Or maybe let's say, assume you don't even want to do business, you don't like to do business, like myself. Well, I'm a businesswoman, so that's why I'm here. Right? So let's assume you don't like business, you just want to invest your money. I know of a real estate investment right now that you can actually invest some money and get 20% per annum. So let's assume that every year I take this 848,000 naira and I invest it in this real estate. I'm not going to do anything. It means that I'm going to be getting a return of 169,000 extra money. So why not just save that extra money? Save it up for your children's school fees, save it up to do something else, and buy a solar system that can save you the stress, that is reliable, that is even good for your health. I'm sure you've heard about people who switched on generators and, they slept off, it caught fire, the fume killed children. I mean, the hazard is nothing to write home about. And that is why we are bringing you this solution, because we care about you. We want you to save your money. We want you to be very productive. We want you to be able to save some more money, right, for whatever else you want to do. So I'm sure you can't resist this offer, right? So this package is called the Solar Vanilla package, the 1 kVA system. Again, it's from as low as 995,000. Just mention that you can actually go for something higher if you want, but this is like our base. You can charge your fan, 1 fan, 4 bulbs, a small TV, a tabletop fridge. It's not those very small tabletop fridge. You can go have 1 year guarantee, 5 years lifespan, very little maintenance cost, no fueling cost at all. You can enjoy from Solfa Power free 30 days on paid maintenance services, health benefits, and then financing arrangement as well, if you want. And if you're interested in our financing arrangement, please drop a message in the comment box, and our staff reach out to you. But essentially, we have different models that we can work with. So one is you can actually pay over a period of time. Once you're done paying, then we can install the system for you. Okay, we have Solfa Power we have a track record of we're very reliable. Our office is in Surulere. You see the address at the end of the slide, number 3 Onisemo Street off Marshall, Surulere. Yeah, I'm not Yoruba. Surulere, Lagos. Yes, so you can actually visit our offices, and this offer is really very limited. Of course, you know how the market is right now. Prices are fluctuating on a daily basis. So we are offering this product for the next 7 days. 7 days. Countdown begin from today, right? You should subscribe to get our solar system for about 995,000 naira and save yourself a lot of stress. Okay, so again, the name of our company is Solfa Power. We're on various social media platforms. Yes, so you can find us on Our website is www.solfapowerlimited. These are email address on the screen. Our phone numbers is here. One of our staff will also drop another phone number on the screen. Okay. And in addition to that, we have our Twitter handle at solfapower.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at solfapower, not .com, at solfapower, right? On Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Yes, we're also on LinkedIn, and also on Twitter. To follow up, you can follow up with our updates. And one of the things that you find us doing subsequently, or rather consistently going forward, is we're going to be giving you a lot of value in terms of what you need to understand about solar systems, how it works, the things to avoid, because trust me, there are a lot of counterfeits out there in the market. Okay, but we are here to guide you through that process to ensure that you make the right decisions when going for a solar system. Okay. So just before we go, all right, there are a few questions that I will frequently ask questions that we currently will be taking on briefly. But before then, I think what we'll do is this. Again, I promised you all 1 hour. 1 hour, so 11 to 12. And I also wanted to give some room for any of our participants who has any questions, so that you can ask your questions. Maybe you can take that. We'll take this. Watch out for the next webinar. We're going to be taking this topic. I'm just giving you a snapshot. Frequently asked questions in relation to solar energy. Okay, so but for today, our focus, like I said, is to debunk the 3 myths. Myth number 1 is that solar is unreliable, right? Solar is unreliable, or rather, no, I think that was myth number 3. Myth number 1 is that solar cannot power your energy need for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is a lie for very literal language. It is not true. Solar is not a scam. Okay, solar can actually power everything in your house. All it just means that you need to get a capacity that is big enough to power everything in your house. And please, as we go on, please, are there topics that that are very, you've encountered in the course of your work, or in the course of, the topics that are boggling your mind, you want Solfa Power to treat or address? Please feel free to drop them in the comment box, and we'll be sharing with you answers, or we're coming up with other subsequent webinars to help you address some of these issues. Myth number 2 is that solar is expensive. And we've done the calculations already, and you can see clearly that solar is not expensive. Okay. And thirdly is that solar is difficult to use, is unreliable. Of course, I've shown you that that is not the case. You just need to learn how to use it. Ignorance sometimes lead people to say such things. But if you understand how to use a solar system, like we will teach you in subsequent webinars, you'll find out that it's super, super, super easy to use. So this brings me to the end of my presentation today, and we'll be happy to take your questions. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'll just check the comment box to see if we have any questions there. Yes, if you have any question there. Okay. Well, maybe what we can then do is to, perhaps you don't want to write a question. If you want to speak, you could just raise your hand, just indicate by raising your hand, and then we'll get you unmuted, and then you can ask your question. Okay, I think I can see a hand raised. Please, admin, could you help unmute him? Just very briefly, we promised 1 hour, and we don't want to stay more than an hour. Okay, so Mr. Abbas has a question.
Good morning, ma.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay. Thanks for the presentation. It's really worthwhile, and I'm glad joining in, and really enlightening us more and giving us a very roadmap for us to know how we're going to, make do of solar system and enjoy it. My own question briefly is this package you brought forward now. You said it's going to last for 7 days, and what if you have okay, like I am now, I'm an how do I put, enthusiast solar installer.
Okay.
And so I just want to know if, well, what if I sell it to customers and they're like, okay, how do we get it? What are the challenges? What are the things that you can, I mean, how do they make payment? How do they go about it? And then how do they get it? And how do they make payment? That's another thing. Another thing is, do you train would be engineers that want to like practice solar installation and or whatnot? Do you train people on solar installation and the engineering part of solar system? That's my question.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so thank you for the question. So first question is about the package. Yeah, so the Solfa vanilla package. Probably let me just move to that slide so that you can see it. So the way it works is that once, if you are interested, trying to move to the next slide. So yeah, so the way it works is once you're interested, you can reach out to, please, Solfa admin happiness, please drop in our phone number for placing an order, and also I think we also have a phone number. You can just drop or send us a text or a message or a call, or you can visit our offices to place your order. So once you are interested, what we'll first do, again, for Solfa Power, we're not just about selling things. Our first thing is to ask you what you want to power with the system, because someone may just, okay, let me just go for this, and what he has in mind is to power probably a deep freezer, which this cannot carry. So the first thing we do at Solfa Power is to do an analysis, ask you, what are the things you want to place on this system? So first, based on that, we then advise you if, like I told, these are already things that you can power, but if this is all what you want to power with, then that's fine. But if you want to do anything more than that, you need a bigger capacity. So for this, once you will confirm that it suits what you want to power, then payment is made, right? And then we deliver at your location. And don't forget, and for this 7 days package, for this day, installation is free. Yes. I forgot to mention that. So if you're going to be participating, if you want to take advantage of this offer, installation is free and delivery is free. And these are things that other installers will have to charge a lot more for. So installation is free, and delivery is free. We'll install at your location, and after that, we'll teach you how to use it. Teach you how to use it, teach you how to ensure that it is constantly charged, whether with your solar panel, because you come with a solar panel, or with electricity if on rainy days. So I think those are the ways to go about it. Then if you want to, if you don't have the capacity to pay in full, our payments are arranged so that we have two forms of financing arrangement. The first one is that you can pay in bits over a period of time, 2-3 months, 4 months, thereabout, and then once you are done with your payment, we install. The second part of it is the financing part, where this is a lot more technical. So so this one, we work with our finance partners. If you want to have the system before you finish making payments, then we have banks that we work with. It means at that point, interest rate will apply. Okay, interest rate to apply, meaning that you have to pay interest to the bank. So the bank will pay us, and then we will install for you. We work with our banks, and you pay the bank over a period of time. But before the bank will do that, they also just check your credibility and your track record, if you actually have the capacity to do that. So those are the two payments. Well, if you're going to take the other option of paying in installment over a period of 4 months, after which we install, at that one, there's very little or no additional interest or cost to you. But anything, the other means that, of course, how once something is getting given to you in advance, it comes at an additional cost. So those are the payment mechanism. For the training aspect, yes, we do trainings. Interestingly, we'll be doing a couple of trainings. We partner with some of our training institutes. We partner with Renewable Energy Technology Training Institute. They are training partners as well. So perhaps if you have a couple of persons interested in the training, we can arrange something with Reti and get that on board. So I hope that answers your question, Abbas. Do you have any more questions? Okay, so yeah, you're asking if there's going to be commission. Yes. So there's a commission for solar marketers. Yes. So if you're a marketer on the call and you are looking to, tell people about Solfa products, then please, there's commission, and please drop your number on the screen. If you're not on our WhatsApp group, then you can we can reach out to you, tell what the commissions are, because the commissions actually differ for different packages. Okay, so we can give you, but trust me, your commission is very attractive. I'll provide you with all the support you need. If you need flyers and all of that, we can do, and we can provide all of that for you. And please feel free to follow us on all our social media pages, and you can also drop in your numbers, and we can add you on our WhatsApp groups. We are abreast about different products that we sell, and also prices, and all of that. Do you have any more questions? Abbas, did I provided a good answer to your question?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Thank you very much, ma. You saw
okay.
it.
Okay, I think you responded already. Okay. All right. So do you have any other questions? You can still raise your hand. We have just a few minutes to go. Okay, I want to assume that we are all clear. Okay, I'm trying to see. Oh, how I see a question. How long can a solar battery last before replacing them? Okay, so typically, so that there are two kinds, so it depends on the kind of, there are different kind of solar systems. So for a lithium-ion battery, the best kind of battery, even though they're a lot more pricey. So for lithium-ion batteries, they can last for up to, the batteries stay up to 5 years, 6 years, or even more. Okay, then we have the tubular batteries. Tubular batteries typically last within 3 years, which is why, and one of the things we do at Solfa Power is to actually educate you on how to use your battery so that they are very efficient. If you use tubular batteries, let me explain. Tubular batteries, I'm trying to explain so that you can understand. Tubular batteries are like the wet cell, the ones people refill with liquid. I'm sure you must have seen that. Those kind of batteries, they are durable, very good as well. But you have to maintain them every 6 months just to top them up. And the maintenance requirement is really very cheap. Trust me, it's very minimal, very, very minimal. So you can use tubular batteries. But this package that we have now actually, allows you, so some of them come with lithium-ion batteries. And once you have them, like I said, up to 5 years. And in terms of how long a battery will last when you are using it, depends on what you have on it. Let me explain this very well, because a lot of people don't understand. So for instance, let's assume, let me use an instance of your phone. If your phone is 100% charged, and at the same time you're making a Zoom call right now, you are checking Facebook, you are checking Instagram and LinkedIn, and also typing on WhatsApp, you will agree with me that your battery will not last long. Just in a matter of hours, it will drop back to like 20%. If someone else has exactly the same phone, 100% chargeable, all the person is just doing is making the calls, or maybe making calls and chatting on WhatsApp, that person's battery will last about 3 or 4 times longer than yours. Okay, so this just means that how long your battery lasts depends on how the load it is carrying and the load that it is carrying per time. The more load your battery is carrying, the shorter it is likely to last. Which is why one of the things you need to learn as a solar system user is how to conserve energy. It's not a time where you just turn on electricity for the sake of it. You use it when you need it. That is how you maximize your solar system properly. And that's how you can even, for instance, this 995,000 naira package now, you can actually, if you're just using just your light and laptop, you can use it for like 12 hours, 13 hours, even more. In fact, if you're using this 995 package only on your light bulbs, you can use it for 24 hours or even more. Okay, if you're using it for maybe just your TV and your laptop, maybe you can look around 6 hours thereabouts. So everything, how long you use it depends on the load you can carry on it. Now, but if you decide to put everything on the screen, or just imagine if you put your TV, your fridge, everything on all at the same time, it will carry it, yes, but the battery wouldn't last as long. I don't know if that provides some clarification on that question. Thank you so much, Bukola, for the question. Okay, I think how is the commission calculated after referring someone? Also, is commission only on solar panels on all solar products? Okay, you know, solar system is different from solar components. Let me explain that. So solar system is made up of your panel, your inverter, your battery, and you know, other accessories. Okay, and then you also then have solar components. So there's some people that just want to change their battery, just want to buy panels. So yes, if you refer someone that buys a component, maybe a battery or inverter or panel, yes, there is a commission for that. Okay, so but in terms of how is the commission calculated? Okay, so we have a policy on our commission. Okay, if you're interested in understanding our commission arrangements, please drop your number on the screen or reach out to Happiness, our staff, our business development officer. I think she has dropped her number on the screen. Please drop it again, Happiness. Please reach out to her and she would explain to you the different commission packages. But trust me, they're attractive. They're attractive, or that which is the essence of this webinar, to let you know that these things, some of the scam you always hear, some of this, you know, the myths you always hear are actually not true. So feel free to reach out to her and she'll provide you with all the details that you need to get regarding the commission. But yes, there's commission for every referral that you do. And, you know, like I said, this is our standard package, valid for 7 days, free installation, free delivery. We have other things, a lot of other packages which you can get. So we do a lot of solar fans, solar street lights, you know, solar and all of, okay, can solar be used in factories? Oh yes, solar can be used in factories. Again, there are companies that run on solar, like factories. Yes, they can, right? Again, but the only thing I'll keep mentioning is that solar can take anything you want it to take, except that you have to use the capacity that suits it. For instance, for factories or industries, you cannot use tubular batteries. You have to use lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are stronger batteries that have a lot of capacity to carry huge machineries. Yeah, they're more expensive, but that's what they are majorly used for. So if you have a client that's looking to power a lot of ACs and all of that, we usually advise that you use lithium-ion batteries. And interestingly, our 995,000 naira package has lithium-ion battery inside though. So I'm sure you don't want to miss it. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. In the absence of any other question, this brings us to the end of our webinar, right? And thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to having you in subsequent webinars to learn more. If you're looking to just broaden your knowledge on solar, please follow Solfa Power on our social media pages, at Solfa Power at Instagram, at Solfa Power on Twitter, at Solfa Power on LinkedIn. You can also follow myself, Chinenye Ajayi, as well on different platforms. Thank you very much and have yourself